Hola amigos! Welcome to this week's episode of Linnea Stella. Today we will talk about divine union or sacred union. And this will be the foundation for a series of videos that I am planning on filming to you about masculine and feminine dynamics, masculine and feminine communication as it was meant to be, as it is meant to be from a biological perspective, from an energetic perspective. And I can tell you that when you are relating in a way that feels biologically and energetically correct for the polarity that you are in, it feels good. It feels natural, it feels right. And that is why there is so much programming to confuse us when it comes to that. So for the sake of simplicity, I'm gonna use masculine and man interchangeably and feminine and woman the same, but all relationships have a masculine and a feminine polarity in them. So what is even sacred divine union? Is one of those buzzwords that we have been hearing in the spiritual space, but it's actually something very real and very powerful. This is how we were originally meant to form unions in the physical world and also in the energetic world, because the energetics always precedes the physical. So the divine union, which is the same as sacred union, starts in the energetic plane. And most importantly, it starts within you. It starts with you uniting your inner polarities. And that can refer to the inner masculine and the inner feminine, but also to integrate all parts of you that have been fragmented. So the reason why I am filming this video before I talk about relationships is because 99% of all the relationship content out there, it is about fear-based relationships. It is about relationships that are built on trauma bonding, because that's still the dominating way in which human beings relate. But that in itself is a result of the matrix. It is not natural for us to relate to others through trauma bonding because it never really feels good. Trauma bonding happens when you have a wound that matches someone else's wound. And I'm not going to go into details. I have studied integrated attachment theory, where you learn a lot about the different attachment styles. I am not really focusing on that right now in my personal journey, but a classic example that you might have heard of is the anxious avoidant. So one person needs the other to constantly be there to feel good, and the other person needs their own space to feel good, in short. But all fear-based relationships or relationships based on trauma bonding have in common that they are based on fear, as the name suggests, and not love. And we are meant as human beings to connect through unconditional love. So from a place of overflow, of feeling like I am whole, I am so filled by God's light, by the light of my soul, that I don't need another person to say the right thing, to do the right thing for me to feel good and to be at baseline. No, I can already feel myself energetically. But that being said, in a physical relationship, of course, you want some kind of equal energetic exchange of giving and taking. It's not just like, oh, the other person, I haven't heard from them in years, but I'm just keeping on giving and giving and giving because I am in unconditional love. That's imbalance, because we are also human beings. We as human beings have the very challenging task of existing both in the energetics as infinite souls and in the physical planes, which is based on survival and duality. A healthy relationship needs to be balanced in both the energetic realm and the physical realm. And I'm saying that also to myself because I have a history of being in relationships where I am giving a lot and the other person isn't giving that much back, because that was a lesson that my soul wanted me to learn in this lifetime. And hopefully we're almost there. But I just want to say this because I don't see a lot of people talk about this in relationship context. We are meant to relate from overflow, from a state of love and not fear. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm so fascinated by this dichotomy that we live in as humans, that we have this energetic soul side that is already in oneness, that doesn't need anything. But we also have this human side that sees separation and that feels fear and that feels that they need things in order to feel good. And with that, I also want to say that this is not about absolutes. Nothing on the spiritual journey or personal development is about perfection. You need to be 100% healed. You need to be a saint in order to ever relate to another human. It's not like that. It's up to your soul and God to decide when you are more in the state of wholeness and oneness, and you are in the state of overflow more often than not. It's up to God and your soul to decide when you are ready for divine union. And that doesn't mean that you don't have moments when you go into fear or lack or doubting and feeling like you need something, but you have the capacity to pull yourself out from those states. And most importantly, you can see when it happens, you can catch yourself, and you don't buy into that as being the truth. You don't buy into, oh, I am broken, I need someone else to complete me, I need this person to say this thing to me at this time in order to feel good. Because you can source all the feeling you ever wanted now from your soul. And that's the secret to healthy relating. I am very excited to see more and more humans coming from living mainly on a fear-based frequency up to living from a love-based frequency, when we can relate in this more natural way that feels so much better. And in order to do so, we also need to stop making our partner God. We need to stop thinking that this person needs to always be here for me, they need to always say the right thing, they need to constantly reply to me instantly, they need to be this superhuman. Otherwise, they are not good for me, because then you will never be able to relate to another human in a romantic context, if that's something that you desire. But your task as a human being on earth is to learn how to self-source that, to meet your own needs energetically, to have a strong connection to God and your soul. And from that place, relate to other people. And as I said, divine union starts within you, uniting within yourself, which is what some people refer to as the healing journey. But the healing journey is not infinite. That's also something I see a lot in the spiritual community, and why I don't resonate with a lot of people in the spiritual community. No offense, but I don't really identify myself as such, because there is a lot of addiction to the healing and feeling like you just need one more thing and one more thing and one more thing. And you forget that life is happening now, and we are supposed to enjoy life. The journey too, and not just the destination. Oh, once I've healed, then I can feel good. Then I can access all those feelings that I want to access, because everything you ever wanted in life is to access certain feeling states. The more you heal, the more those states shift from being, oh, I want to feel this pleasure and euphoria and these very intense emotions that are kind of harsh to the nervous system, to I just want to feel peace and serenity. So I am planning on filming more videos on this topic, because there is so much to say on divine union, on masculine, feminine communication from a purely energetic perspective. Because I am not interested in a certain lineage or school, I am interested in the foundations. Maybe because I have a one line in human design, but I am interested to go into the core. And when we look at the natural feminine and masculine energetics, that's how we objectively are meant to relate with each other. So that's what's interesting to me. And it's really as objective as how an electron is drawn to a proton. It's just physics. But that has been forgotten because, as I said, there is so many people who teach from a state of fear. And I only want to teach from a state of love, because I am devoted to love. And my task is to embody more and more love, to speak and act from love, because that's how we heal the world, one human at a time. So let me know any thoughts or questions in the comments. You know that you're making my day when you're posting the questions down there. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the little bell, because then it's gonna tell you when my next video comes out, which is hopefully soon. Have an amazing time until then, and see you later, alligator! But all fear-based relationships or relationships that's how we objective.